Hello, everybody. Let me know that you're here. Drop me like a comment. I'm trying to see how interactive this is. I see one person there. Hello. Let me know if you can hear me okay. We'll give everybody just 1 or 2 minutes. What up, Sam? What's up? All right, I see what, 3 people. Let me know. Throw me a comment so I can see. Make sure you let me know that you can hear me and you can see me okay. Hey. Hello, hello, hello. We'll get started in just a moment. Sup and me getting my mom in on this too. Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. Everybody can hear me okay? Awesome, awesome, blossom. Hello, hello. I gotta leave the fan on because I get hot fast. Sorry about that. Alrighty. Give about 1 more minute and then we'll get started. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Do I know everybody that's on? I'm sorry, I don't recognize screen names. I know Christy. Phone is crazy. Okay. All right, so this is a new thing for us, teaching sign language online. I wasn't a huge fan of doing it, but because of our circumstances, I decided to go ahead and continue classes online. So, a couple of things I was thinking about was how will we be able to practice our signing? And what I've decided to do is I'll give you practice signs to work on, and I want you to actually upload a video. You can, if you're a YouTube user, you can upload on YouTube and send me the link, or you can do it directly on your phone and email me the video. But if you could email the video, I included it in the previous post, but the email is marioantoinette@gmail.com. So you can email me your practice videos so I can critique them and let you know how well you did on them. And then also I'll take any questions that you have. I definitely will be giving out homework. I'm still the same style teacher. It's just in video form. Um, Please excuse my fro. You know, everybody's going through quarantine hair stuff right now. But anyways, we are still going to use the same book. So hey, man. So we're still using the same book. It's called Learn American Sign Language. It's still located at Barnes and Nobles. I think they are still doing curbside assistance. It is available digitally, I think on Apple and of course Android. So you can get the book, and I will still be using that. All right. So because we had a quite a long pause, we will reset the class. I hate to say it in that way, but we'll reset it. But inside of it, you'll still learn what you need to learn. So we will go from there. So before starting, we want to talk a little bit about sign language. For everybody out there, how experienced are you in sign language? Have you had a little bit of exposure? Do you have a friend or a child, a family member? What made you actually want to learn signs? So I'll take just a second to see who wants to type a response in that, and I'll let you do that. But why have you wanted to learn sign, and how much of it do you know? And as you're doing that, I'll explain a little bit about it. We are going over American Sign Language, and the first adjective, American Sign Language, should give you a hint that there are many different kinds of sign languages out there. The concept of sign language, of course, is universal, but each region, each place, wherever there's culture, and there's a different culture, there's a different kind of sign language. So British Sign Language is quite different from American Sign Language, which is different from Japanese Sign Language, which is different from French Sign Language. So each sign bears its own culture, and language is just the way that we actually express culture. And if you could, with me, really think about that. If we were on a planet where everybody could not hear, and then all of a sudden, on the planet, the first child is born who can hear, and all our schools were set up to teach in ASL and to teach with sign language. And then all of a sudden, we have a hearing child new to the community, and now we have to set them with an interpreter who knows both sign language and English. It would be this whole different concept of access to things. So, as people who can hear, they have a lot of access to things that can make them better. If I wanted to get my master's degree, I might take an online program, and then I have access to doing that. But sometimes in our culture, we don't have things closed captioned, we don't have sign language interpreters available. So it's harder for deaf people to get inside the community and thrive. So the reason why I started these classes is not to save anything, but just really to make sign language more accessible. We've started here in Augusta, Georgia, and where I'm from, Pensacola, Florida, there was sign language in almost every area. It was very able to receive. It was in our in our public schools, in our colleges. And then I got here to Augusta, and we had very little access. So I wanted to go ahead and just put those classes out there so people who have deaf family members, deaf friends, they can have the opportunity to be able to use their language. I know some people, I'm seeing some comments here, and some people are just wanting to challenge themselves, and that's fine. My story of sign language is quite that way. I don't have anybody deaf in my family, and I happen to be going to a church that a lady introduced sign language, and I actually didn't even meet a deaf person at that time. And then I started going to another church that actually had a deaf ministry, and then I was able to learn sign language at my local community college, and then from there trained as an interpreter. So it just fascinated me, the language. But then I started getting friends who were deaf, and then I was like, oh, I got to finish learning this. I want to be able to communicate with my friends. And then I see somebody saying I want to become an interpreter. That's great. We need plenty more interpreters. But what we really need are allies to the deaf community between hearing and deaf, really helping and making sure that we have equal access. So that's the concept of sign language. Of course, is a visual language. It has actually a lot of roots in French. American Sign Language has a lot of roots in French Sign Language because of the history of it. So a lot of people will ask, what is the word and what's the sign? What's the sign for this word? And we have to remember that sign language is a visual language. So when you ask what is the sign for this word, it might not actually exist. If you can't picture the meaning of that word visually, then it might not have a sign. You might have to build a sign. Okay, so I want you to, I'm going to read your comments here for a second. Plus, I want to challenge myself. I work in a public school system with all types of students. Thought it might come in handy. That's very true. I've actually worked at a retail store, and I had a deaf person visit me, and she started to write things down for me, and I just simply signed to her, "Are you deaf?" And she said yes, and then it was all gravy from there. We just had a good time then. So I'm getting my mom too. Let's see, who else? My husband and I were taking class. My son has autism. We use it along with speaking. I've seen that more and more. 13 years ago, I didn't see that much, but now, just as of recently, I'm seeing sign language and autism, and it's excellent. I've actually been able to use it with autistic children, and it really grasps their attention. You're never too young to learn it. I tell you that as well. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you have a book, I know it's kind of all of a sudden I told you about it, but always make sure that you do read your book. So we're in page 4. If you have one, it's page 4. We're going to go over what makes up sign language. So there are 5 key concepts. So I want you to join me. I can't see you. So I need you to tell me if you're there and you're paying attention. So the 5 concepts is that it takes 5 different things to create a sign. Once again, English is an audible language, so we use sounds. So as you learn your A language, which is your language that you're native to, that you've learned, and you start learning your B language, which is the one that you're learning now, I want you to see what makes one and one the other. So for those who want to be an interpreter, your job is to be able to take something from this language and then make it into this one, and then this one back to the first one, source and target language. So I want you to really think, how many different ways do we use our language to have fun with, or how do we shape our vowels and our consonants? How do we do that? Each way we can change a, e, a, o, u, a, e, I, o, u, all these different things that we do, how we raise our voice, how we lower it, how we slow down what we say, all that we have to now put on our hands. So I want you to get your hands ready. All right, we're going to already just start off with some signing. So get your hands ready. Be an interpreter and translator. I will answer that a little bit later. That's a great question. I'll give you a little bit of insight. It has to do with going from English to ASL. And I'll tell you, remind me to answer that question. That's a great question. All right, so get your hands out and going. If you're right-handed, then you want to use your right hand dominant. And if you're left-handed, use your left hand. All right, so the first thing is hand shapes. So hand shape is, how can I shape my hand to mean something? I can close it, I can open it, I can have it all the way open, I can put one here, I can put a finger here, I can shape my hands in different ways, and each shape means something. And so your first homework assignment is to make sure that you know your alphabet, because your alphabet is all hand shapes. Okay, so when I say give me an A hand shape, this is a hand shape. This is another kind of hand shape. And if I was seeing you face to face, I would be making sure that your A is clear. Some people do sign A out here, and that's fine too, but you can't sign A like this because this is now a different hand shape. All right, so A, and then you have B. A lot of people will sign B like this, but it's not B, it's 4. So A, B, okay? And then you have C, D. Most people get D wrong the first time. They go D, but it's D. D is an open hand. If you close it, it's 1. So again, we have A, B, C, D. If you already know your letters, I want you to start looking at things and spelling it. All right, so in the room, I see a picture. I want you to start being able to spell and see the word in your head and spell it. So, dad, bad. I want you to get used to spelling words, because we don't use it in its alphabet sequence when we actually use this. Okay, so A, B, C, D, E. So some people sign E like this, and that's fine. You'll see E and E. I preferably sign E for myself because it doesn't wear my hand out as fast. So E, F. A lot of people struggle with F sometimes. This is 9. This is F. So A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay? And then G is like holding a little cup. So G, some people sign G like this. I see a lot of deaf people actually sign G like this, and that's fine, of course. So you have G, H, and then I, J, which is one of the few letters that has movement, and then K. So K is like the number 2 with your thumb in the middle. All right, so can we go back and review it? Who has it so far? If you're with me, type something. Are you still with me? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. You got that? I don't see anybody typing yet. Anybody? Are you getting that? Because I'm going to, okay, great. So I'm going to fly through letters, okay? Because you can see those with the video. You can practice those on your own, okay? So we're back with G, H, I, J, good. K, and then L, M. M is underneath 3 fingers. You also will see M like this. I want you to think, why would I sign M like this versus this? Can somebody type that for me? So why would you see me sign M like this versus like this? I'll wait for a second. Why would you see M like this versus M like this sometimes? I'll wait for someone to type me something. As someone's typing that, I'll answer that question about translation and interpreting. Translation is staying in the same language, but it's just changing the mode of it. So if I was, someone was speaking English, and I was, okay, I like that answer. Easy to see M versus N. Speed, I like that one. Anybody else? But translation is to stay in that language and change the form. So if somebody was speaking in English and I translated it into English but just put it on my hands, that's considered translation. And we do that a lot with what's called frozen text. If a deaf person got a legal form and I needed to spot translate that into English on the hands, then that would be a translation. Interpreting would be going from English to ASL. So that includes seeing the non-manual markers, everything that makes a sign. So a good example would be like a cliche. If we said something like, well, no problem, Bob, and I was to keep that in English and translate it, I would say no problem, Bob. But in ASL, no problem, Bob is just a hearing joke. I would just say, no problem. That's how you would fully put it into ASL. I believe it's easier due to the pace in which a deaf person speaks. Yes, all these are great answers. So great. So yes, that's exactly what it is. So it takes more time to close my hand. So a lot of times you'll see it just like this. Same thing with G. Sometimes it takes more time to tuck the thumb inside. So you'll see it like this. So if I spell George, you might see G, George, like that. So the second G came out like that, but my first one was like that. Okay, so yeah, great observation. So M, N, O, and then P is just like K, but the palm orientation is down. So P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So everybody has that, right? Because once again, you can find those letters easily. But just because I go over them fast doesn't mean they're not important, because fingerspelling is used a lot. And why do you think fingerspelling is used so much, or not that much, in sign language? Anybody? So another opportunity for a discussion question. So why would I use fingerspelling in American Sign Language? Anybody? I'll wait a moment. Let's see if I answered all your questions while you're doing that. All right, anybody? Might be a sign for that word. True. I'm gonna actually take. And let me get one more person. If you don't know the sign, or there isn't, okay, I like that. There you go. It might not be a sign for that. Excellent. So for those whose A language, when I say A language, that means what? Your native tongue, right? So for those, good, names and unique words. So for those who have another native tongue, and especially if like you're Spanish or speak Spanish, but you're here in the States, there's a lot of words that are the same word, but just said differently. So like, I use my name, for example. So my name's Mario. In Spanish, someone might say Mario, because their vowels a little bit shorter, but it's still the same word, it's just done a little bit differently. So in that case, you have to spell the word, because the word doesn't have a sign, or the sign is to fingerspell that word in its natural form. Very good. All right, excellent. So now that you know all your letters, probably the first thing you should learn how to spell is your name, right? So let's automatically go into full sign phrases. And let's say something like, hi, my name is, and then sign your name. So to say hello in sign language is pretty self-explanatory. You can say hi. I've met some deaf people who say hi, H-I. I was formerly taught the salute hello, which I still use. So hi. And the sign for my, anybody recall what the sign for my is? For those who've been in class, I told you about how you can actually type out sign, explaining how your hand is in relationship to your body. Anybody know how to sign my? I know I can envision everybody saying, well, you just do this. Can you somehow type that? How would you sign my? No, you can't go my. Somebody? All right, maybe somebody will do it while we're doing it. So my is open hand. An open hand shows possession. So this is me or I, my. This will be yours, this will be you. He, she, them. 1 pound, yes, that's correct, my, good. So my, open palm towards chest, excellent. So my, yours, good. Theirs, all of y'all's if you're in the South. All right, so my, the sign for name are 2U hand shapes. All right, your non-dominant hands on the bottom, your dominant hands on the top. So my name. Typically nouns are signed twice, verbs are signed once. So if I needed to call, if I called somebody, so that's called a chair, and it would be called, called. Now note in English, call can mean several different things. I can call somebody through the phone, or I can call somebody to me, I can summon somebody, or I can call and request something. So call, C-A-L-L, has many meanings. And going back to that question about translating versus interpreting, some English translations, you can just use any call and it will be acceptable. But in interpreting, it's unacceptable to use the wrong call. I would have to know which call is being used. So if I called something or named something, it would be named. So if I'm signing my name is, that would sign my, and that would tap name. So my name. All right, so my name. All signs are in present being, so the sign is not needed. It will tell you what you do if you're not in present. Also, whenever you're signing, you're always signing in first person. So a lot of times you won't see I, you'll just see name and then the name spelled because you're already spelling for yourself. And if you're spelling for somebody else, you would have to point reference off to the side. So my name, okay, and then you would sign your name. So I'll sign mine. If you want to sign your last name, you can either pause, so Mario, hold, and then sign the last name. If you saw what I just did with my last name, if you have a double letter, you can choose to slide, but don't get too aggressive in your slide, because some words have multiple letters that are the same. So like Mississippi, see now I ran off the screen. So you want to keep the slide very small. So L-E-T-T. Or you can just spell it twice, form the T twice. All right, so I can sign Mario, and then this is the sign for last. It's 2 pinkies, okay? Dominant hand moves last. So I can sign Mario last let. And sometimes I do that if I really need you to know the difference in the 2 names. And then for those who have a sign name, the concept of a sign name is a deaf person gives you a sign name once they have accepted you into sign language in the community, and then you would get a sign name. And my deaf person gave me the sign name Mario because I'm tall. So thanks, Ricky. Appreciate you. All right. So if I was to sign my sign name, then I would go Mario, and I would just go here. And then in deaf culture, it's not uncommon to see people sign names and not even know what their actual name is, because after a while, you'll just see this. You won't really see the spelling after a while. Okay, so I want everybody to try that. Try signing your name. And the thing that I always say in class is that when you're talking to somebody, make sure that you're actually engaged. Sign language, if you can think about this, is a language that's visual. In English, in an audible language, I can turn my head and still be talking to you, right? And you would still know what's going on. But in sign language, I have to have your attention. So often before I start signing, I get the attention. So I'll say, okay? And then you would sign for me your name, and I'll go. Okay, so I want you to practice that. Actually, what I would love for you to do is include this in your homework and shoot me a video, all right, please, of you introducing yourself in sign language. And I want to make sure that you're doing it well. A couple of pointers before you send those videos to me is make sure that you're inside of your signing space. So what is your signing space? I want somebody to tell me what your signing space is. So somebody out there, type for me, what is a signing space? Or what do you think a signing space is? You don't have to Google it. Tell me, what do you think a signing space is? So I'll wait a moment. And as someone's answering that question for me, if you have a question for me, feel free to put it down here in the discussion, and I will address that question to you. All right, so what's a signing space? And then, a little extra credit, why would a signing space be important? So tell me those 2 things. It's your zone for signing. I like that. Anybody else got some? Okay, right in front of your body. Okay, true. So I don't want to sign out here. Top of your head to the shoulders to somewhere around the middle of the chest. Yeah, actually it can go a little bit lower. It can go kind of about to the belly button. Some signs are at the hip. Sometimes when you sign legs, you might go a little bit further down. But yes, in general, it's about the top of the head. It comes about to the shoulders, good down into normally to around the belly button. And it's for others can easily view it. Okay, so the person who said that, Samantha, others who can easily view it, what are they viewing? What are they looking at? When you're signing, what are people looking at? Okay, it goes back to those 5 things that we have to have when we sign. So the first thing we said were hand shapes. And then the second thing, well, I'll go ahead and just make it the second thing, is your facial expressions. So any and all gestures you make, good. So when someone is signing, the person receiving the sign language is looking at your face, good, your face and your hands. And that's very, very important. People watch the lips, they watch your facial expression, and they're also going to watch where you put your hands. That's important too. That's another parameter, location. They're going to look to see how your hand moves, and they're going to see which way your hand is faced. So that's all 5 things they're looking at. So they're looking at how your hand is shaped. They're looking at where your hand is, your facial expressions, which way it's turning, and how it moves, okay? So if I have a sign, if I use an A hand shape and I put it here, it means nothing yet. The whole 5 parameters are signed, good. It doesn't mean anything yet until I add some more things. So if I started moving it, and I gave you a hand shape, all right, I gave you a facial expression, and I gave you the palm orientation, then what am I signing, okay? Well, I'm signing what? Anybody know what I'm signing? Anybody know? Okay, so this is aunt, this is uncle, okay? And they vary from place to place. I was interpreting for a gentleman from New York, and I saw uncle more like this. Apple is on the actual chin, so apple would be here. That's what happens, is that some things are so close. So aunt is out here, apple is attached, and it moves up to down. So I wouldn't sign apple like this, I would sign it like this. So aunt, uncle, some people sign aunt, some people sign uncle. Context normally lets you know the variation of it. It's just like when we speak audibly. Some people say aunt, some people say aunt, caramel, caramel. Sometimes people change a little bit what they do in movement. All right. So, and then aunt, and anybody can guess what this sign? I already told you, didn't I? All right, uncle. Good. All right. So we've gone over the 5 parameters of the things that you need to sign with. All right. Do you want to go ahead and hit up numbers? I actually don't want to give you numbers just yet. Let me actually move you on to basic signs. All right. So if you're in your book, turn to me, page 26. All right. Who's ready? Any questions? Anything confusing? Let me know now, or we're going to keep moving. We're in page 26. Okay. We're going to start off with the sign N. So I-N. So you have in. Okay, yeah, okay, I see you. So in, and then of course this will be out. So in, out. All right, and then the movement is pretty self-explanatory. Oh, I see you, ready. So the movement of something going in versus going out, you'll see a different hand shape. Sometimes you'll see this. This means to join. And then if I do this, what do you think that's a sign for? So if this is join, then what is this? Join, what's this? So in, out, join, what would that be? Anybody? Join, what would be this? All right, I'll let you type that out and I'll move on and I'll come back. Okay, someone said leave. Okay, so join, leave. Okay, I would accept that on the test. All right, dismiss. Okay. So if I join something or if I what something, I don't leave something. In English, what do I do? If I join something in English, the opposite of joining something would be to what something? Think about, give me from ASL to English. I wouldn't say I joined and then I dismissed. Disconnected. Okay? So you're giving me it in ASL, which I love. But in English, there you go. Somebody got it. Quit. Quit. So I joined and then I quit. All right? So join, quit. Okay? Good. Take apart. It's best is quit because of the English join versus quit. Now, if I said something was connected, okay, and then I did this, then what would that be? So this is connect. What would this be? Think about it in English. So connect versus what? I'll let somebody answer that as I move on. All right, so if this is connect, then what would this be? And then as you're doing that one, yeah, very good. So this is connect and this is disconnect. And then if I give you a different movement and I do this, what do you think this would mean? What would this mean? So if I change my movement to incorporate this, then what would this mean? Connect, disconnect, what would this mean? Yeah, together, we're all connected. That's what I like. We're all connected. And if we say we are all connected, what is an English word for that? Not necessarily gather. What is an English word for we are all connected? We are all... The person who said gathered, Sam, you're not wrong. If a minister says something like, we're all gathered here today, we all come here for one cause. Family is close, agreement is close, but think connection and then everybody. We are in agreement. We are in unity. We're in unity. All right. But I would take agreement. We're all in agreement. That's fine too. Okay. But this is typically this is meeting. So we can meet, nice to meet you, and then several classifiers of a person meeting. But this is, we are all linked together on the same page. We are all in unity on one page. Okay? Good, 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 good. All right? The next sign you have is no. Okay, good. I'm glad you see that. All right? So no, K-N-O-W, I know. And then, of course, the palm orientation changing out normally is a negative response to the first sign. So no, and then this would be what? I know, and then what would that be? So no, what's the rest of that? No, and then what's this? I'll wait. Okay, I don't know. Good. All right, good. But I kind of tricked you a little bit. I'm sorry. Yep, I did. I gave you an incomplete sign because I can say I don't know, but sometimes it could be misunderstood. All right, I would actually say I don't know. And what did I add? No. So it's actually better understood to have the facial expression negative. I don't know. So I know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay? It's going to feel like this after a while, but I don't know. All right, so no, I don't know. Okay? Like, L-I-K-E, as in I like something. All right? So like, this is what we call an 8 hand shape, the number 8. Like, and then of course I don't like. And then normally you add the head shake. I don't like. So I like and I don't like. All right? Just like in that other word that we had, call. You can call, you can request something, you can call something, you can summon somebody. There's different kinds of calls, there's different kinds of likes. So for us to be alike, you would see the Y hand shape, like. All right, so if we think similarly, like, all right, or if I like something, all right, if somebody is like something, then you have to sign compare. So, you know, this singer is kind of like this one, they kind of compare similarly. All right. So good, you'll see good. Sometimes you can land it in the non-dominant hand, you'll see good, or you'll see good straight down. So you see good or good. And then of course that would be bad, right? So good, bad. All right? Do a couple more signs, then we'll give you some practice. We have yes. Most people know that one. Yes. Nah, I'm good. No, I don't know. All right? And no comes from finger spelling N-O fast. So N-O just looks like this. No. All right? Maybe. You have please. Watch your palm orientation for please, because this is sorry. So sorry, please, and then also watch your movement. Please is normally a little bit smaller and a little bit tighter. Enjoy is a little bit larger and a little bit slower. So enjoy, please. All right? Now your facial expression can also tell if it's enjoy or please. So I can say something like, which one am I signing there? Which one is that one? Is that please or enjoy? Hey, what's up, Chase? What's up? Good, because the expression is going to show you what it means. So if I had like some good food and that's enjoy, all right? It's slower. But if it's please, it's going to be more of a sharp movement. Like, please for me, can you give me a book? All right, so enjoy, you have to think about that. What does it look like to enjoy something? So if you can think about your favorite food, all right? So if you told me your favorite food, all right, is it pizza? Is it chicken? Well, what kind of favorite food? Tell me, type it. What's your favorite food? Type it, let me know. Let me see. What's your favorite food? I'll see. Type in. I'll wait. Okay, someone said chocolate anything. Pasta, okay. Pizza. All right, what else? One more person. One more person. Let me know. What's your favorite food? One more person? There is a small lag, I think. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so if you can think about your favorite food, and as you got it right there, it's your pizza. What do you look like when you eat pizza? Are you gonna be mad? If you're eating pizza, you're gonna be. Nah, you're gonna be happy, right? So you have to think about pizza. Delicious. It is good. I enjoy that. It's not that way. Okay, let's continue on. So we have maybe, we have please, then we have thank you. So thank you can be with one hand or two. So you can sign thank you or thank you. Just remember that it goes out. So if it goes down, then it means what? Good. So thank you is out. If you're really thankful, what do you think that would look like? So if I was really thankful, I might sign thank you. So that's a way to use your facial expressions to change the meaning of a sign. So for people in the future that want to become interpreters going from ASL to English, if someone said in English that they were just so grateful that that person gave money to that volunteer group, if I signed as an interpreter, they thank you, then that didn't equal. So it's not right. It's wrong. I have to sign it thank you, because that's the actual meaning. Okay? So you have to make sure that how you want to express equates to your sign. All right? Next sign we have is the word help. So that's help. So I can help you, you can help me, you can help them, all of y'all, all right? For people in the medical, what do you think this might mean? What's another word, help, in the perspective of medicine? What do you think that can equate to? I'll wait because I know there's a little bit of a lag with the video. It's fine. But in medicine, they use a different word, not necessarily help, but there's another word in medical for help. Anybody? Type it. Let me know. Okay, so I'll wait for that and I'll keep going forward. So the next sign we have is excuse me. So this can also mean pardon or excuse me. We already know the sign sorry. So sorry, please, enjoy. Okay. We also have the sign want. So I really want, like desperate, want. And then don't want. Okay. We also have the sign need, or must. And a lot of times you'll see that at the end of a sentence. So I need to go to the bank today. So bank, okay, you'll see it that way. All right, T hand shape. Everyone needs to know that sign. This is the restroom or bathroom. You'll see again. So again or repeat. So you'll see like again and again, repeat. You also have nice to meet you. Okay, so remember when we introduced ourselves and we learned how to sign our name, you would say at the end, oh, my name, spell your name, and then you might sign nice to meet you. Okay, so nice to meet you. Okay, and the last to give you tonight are your question signs, because you're going to need that for your homework. Okay? So who, an old sign is who, so you'll see who or who. What, you also see what, one hand shape, what, or you might see what. So there's three signs for what. So what, or what. That last one is more of a, you're like, what? It's like, what? All right. When, W-H-E-N, when. Where. Why, you'll see why or why. Okay, in which. Okay, and the last one, how. So this is the full sign, how. You'll normally see how. So how are you? And then you might say, oh, I'm good. Or, depends on what's up. Okay? You learned a lot. What questions do you have? Okay? Last signs to give you tonight. The sign for deaf, D-E-A-F, deaf, and then hearing. You'll need that. You need to know that, because normally when you meet and use sign language, probably the second question you're going to get is, are you deaf or hearing? Okay? So know that sign. All right. Any questions? Questions for me? Is the video still, is it good? Okay. So your homework is I want you to send me, okay, did we get the medical help sign? No, nobody responded, and that's fine. I'll give it to you. Thank you for reminding me. So in the medical area, help, you normally hear the word therapy. So we can have occupational therapy. We can have physical therapy. There's different kinds of therapies. So you'll see the word therapy, and you'll use this sign, help, helper therapy. Okay? Any other questions? So can you see how your sign language would change depending on what you're around? So if you are in the medical, then you'll see different kinds of signs used, a different kind of language. And you have to know how to fit that into whatever you're signing. Okay? All right, so once again, how do you sign nice to meet you? So nice to meet you. Good. How did you sign name? Name. Okay. Do you remember how to spell your name? Which, by the way, this is finger spelling. That's the sign for finger spelling. All right. Hello, hello, welcome. All right. So your homework is to make sure that you know your alphabet, okay? Know all of that, know how to sign your name, and then your basic signs and your question signs. Because next time we will use our question signs. So what, when, how, why, which, you need to know those, because our sentence and how we set up our sentence will depend on if it's a question or something different. Okay? Are there any other questions for me? In regards to your book, if you have it, the next chapter we'll go over is our days and time signs. So next week we will study days and time. So that's going to be page 42 through 50. Can you do the question signs again? Sure. Can you repeat the W questions again? Yes, sure. I sure will. So you have who, so it's an L hand shape, who, or who. Then you have what, or what, or what. You won't normally use what. So you'll normally use what or what. So who, what, when. So when is one hand shape around, when. Where, so one hand shape, where. And then why. This is an older sign, why. You normally see now why. So right here, why. So why or why. And then which. So you would set it up, oh, okay. So let me give you an example for each one. So who is that person over there? So Or what will the homework be? Okay. When is class? Okay. Or where's the bank? All right. Or why? Why do you like dogs more than cats? Okay. Or which? Paper? No. Which is better? Paper or text? Which? Okay, so you'll see that. And what I want you to notice is how does my face, what's my face look like when I sign my questions? What are my eyebrows doing? I want you to really look at that. So, what are my eyebrows doing? Question for you. All right? The eyebrows go down. So in WH questions, your eyebrows are down. And then there are times when you change your eyebrows to go up. And we use that to get someone's attention. Okay? Any other questions? Do you want to see some of the signs used in a sentence? Can we do that to end class? Will that be okay? Okay, so if you're back in the basics chapter, let's look at the sign like. Okay, cool. Let's look at the sign like. So let's say that I like apples. So typically how you would sign that is if I like apples, I would say something like, okay? Notice in English, I say I like apples. But when we sign it, notice that apple or apple, two signs, apple came first. So apple, I like. Topic, result. Okay? Maybe I'll go to the store tomorrow. So how I would sign that is, notice I showed like a hesitation. So notice that. So I wouldn't sign. I have to incorporate the sign and the expression. So all right. How would I sign, thank you so much for coming to class? So I would sign something like, okay. And one last one. I want you to do your homework, which I do. So, okay. Thank you so much for coming. I'll post again my email so you can send me your homework. Make sure you're ready for class next week. We will do what? Days and times signs. So be ready, okay? Any last questions for me before I go? All right. If no questions, thank you so much. Have a good night.